One of my arguments in the past against building an all AMD system is that they're just too power hungry. I mean, you put an FX 9590 with two R9 390s in a system and you need a 1000-watt power supply just to post. However, things have changed. AMD has adjusted their perspective a bit. They released Polaris on the GPU side, with the RX 480 being considerably more power efficient than its predecessors, and now they've launched Ryzen 7, meaning you can get an 8-core, 16-thread beast processor for less power than the FX series was coming in at. Why are you bringing this up, Brett, you may ask? Well, the South African launch of Ryzen is taking place this weekend in Cape Town, and I wanted to do a build in commemoration of the event. But there's a twist. This PC that I'm putting together has to be power efficient enough to run in a car. That's right, my plan as of now is to build an 8-core, 16-thread, all AMD gaming PC that can both play and record Mass Effect Andromeda on the 14-hour car ride down to Cape Town. And I just want to say a big thanks to MSI South Africa for providing both the Gaming X RX 480 and B350 Tomahawk to make this video even a possibility. Obviously, in order to be able to do this project, the parts have to draw a minimal amount of power. 300 watts peak, to be specific. The power inverter that I'll be using is on a 20 amp fuse, and since it's a 12 volt plug, we have 300 watts to work with before we blow the fuse. And that has to include the monitor that I'll be using as well. I've already done a couple of test runs on a power meter with both the PC and the monitor to make sure that we can stay below that mark, and I'm fairly confident this is completely attainable. While everyone is raving about the Nintendo Switch and being able to play AAA titles on the go, I laugh. This PC will not only be able to play the latest AAA title on my way down to Cape Town, but I'm also going to be able to locally stream the entire game the entire time, something that the extra cores on Ryzen are actually perfect for. I ask, can your precious Switch do any of that? No, it can't. It can only play games. It can't even browse the internet or play Netflix. Take that, console players. So, for the entire build, I have the previously mentioned MSI B350 motherboard and RX 480 GPU, which will run in conjunction with my Ryzen 7 1700 processor, but I will be keeping that at stock for power draw reasons. I'll also have 32 gigabytes of G.Skill Trident Z RGB RAM, graciously supplied by Wootware, with a Samsung 950 Pro boot drive and 850 EVO storage drive, all running off of this Silverstone, where did I put it? All running off of this Silverstone SFX 450 watt power supply. And to keep space to a minimum and not take up the entire rear section of the car, I'll be using my HWBot Streetcom test bench to keep the profile of the PC as small as possible. So, with all of those details out of the way, let's get to tearing down my current desk bench and build the ultimate car PC.
Cables were like here.
Okay.
And I'm worried I didn't want to like accidentally pull something if I have to. Because okay, let's just break quickly. So I can handle that. I just want to make sure I'm not going to pull the cables.
Okay, gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. So Byron and I are on our way to Cape Town. We are stopping at his house so we can pick a few things up. It is 1 a.m. in the morning, which means it is the perfect time to LAN or to play some games, whatever I want to call it. So we're gonna have the PC in the back seat. I'm gonna plug it in just now. All right, here's the power cord for the monitor, which is gonna sit in my lap, like right here. And then I'm also gonna have the webcam on top of the monitor right here. So I'm gonna plug in the PC. PC is plugged in. And also one thing, just in case there's any extra power draw that there shouldn't be, or something goes wrong, I picked up a few extra fuses just in case some of this blows. That way we can work on it. And then also one of the issues that I had to think about correcting is the fact that I was not able to procure like a Rockcat sofa or like a Razer turret or Corsair lapdog in time. So unfortunately, while this is a video to show PC Master Race, I did not, I'm gonna have to be playing on a controller. I forgot the monitor cable back in my house. Byron, oh, Byron has a monitor cable here, guaranteed. Oh, saves the day. I'm gonna have him go back in when he comes back out. Okay. I forgot my monitor power cable. I brought the cable, but I didn't bring the adapter that actually goes into it. I know. That's what I'm telling you.
Yeah, see, that's what I wanted to avoid.
No, I understand. It's just it's just kind of the initial, and we're set up, I think. So we have the monitor right here. I have the keyboard, mouse, and controller in my lap. We have the PC in the back seat. There, it's kind of right there. You can see it with the RX 480 and the Ryzen 7 1700 with 32 gigabytes of Trident Z RGB RAM.
Brett?
Yeah.
Is it safe to assume this is probably the fastest car PC ever used?
I believe so. I haven't seen another video where there's an 8-core, 16-thread CPU running a, like, really good GPU. Okay guys, we are officially on the road. We're on the highway. We're getting ready to go to Cape Town. There's a truck's headlights that are passing me by. So now, Byron, it's the moment of truth. Are you okay with me turning on the PC? Nobody can see us until I get the PC turned on. There we go. PC is on. You can see the MSI GPU and you can see the G-Skill RAM, and now you have the AMD CPU cooler as well. I got it. I'm the MacGyver of car PCs. Okay, so the monitor is now illuminating my face. I'm now fully logged into my desktop. I just have to get the freaking mouse to work. There's not enough space for this, which is why a controller is actually going to be perfect. So here's my desktop. So you can see we're running the RX 480 with the Ryzen 7 1700 processor, 32 gigabytes of RAM, Windows 10. We are officially on the road to Cape Town, and I am running a beast of a machine. Okay, let's open up Mass Effect Andromeda. I know the game works. I just want to make sure that it runs in the car. So the inverter is working. There's a fan going, but it's not too toasty. It's working just fine. Mass Effect Andromeda in the car, 60 FPS at the load screen. Press space to start. Oh yeah, I'm gonna load. Quick start Scott Rider. Normal difficulty sounds about right. Just to prove that the concept works. It is 2:16 a.m. We're on the road to Cape Town, and I'm going to be playing Mass Effect Andromeda. I just want to skip this and get to some like actual gameplay to just make sure it actually works.
Half an hour in.
Like, surely I should be able to skip this. Then, instead of me trying to film, what I'll do is I'll Alt F4, get rid of the game. I'm going to pull up XSplit to local record. I'm just showing you guys so that you see the proof of concept. So local recording, but here's the preview video for proof of concept. Launching Mass Effect with XSplit running in the background. You can see it's using that 8-core processor, pretty fine and dandy. The RX 480 with the 1700 shouldn't struggle at all with this scenario. Power inverter, it's getting a little bit warmer. Graphics card is a little toasty. We might have to turn up the aircon a little bit. There we go. It is running, guys. I will check back with you whenever I have a status update, but for now, I'm gonna enjoy some Mass Effect. So we had our first little hiccup. I just started XSplit to be able to play the game, and then I realized I needed to change something for the microphone settings, and so I Alt-tabbed to go to the desktop, but Byron completely figured it out as soon as it happened. The change in current and the power draw from the game running at full tilt to the desktop where it's not really drawing any power was too much of a drastic change that it blew the fuse. So as soon as we get to a gas station, we're gonna change the fuse. I'm gonna get back to playing games. It wasn't the power draw, it was the change in power draw that caused the issue. So there was a slight complication in our plans. I bought the wrong fuses for the car. They were way too big to actually fit in the fuse box of Byron's car. So we had to find a place where they sold fuse boxes, but in between Joburg and Bloemfontein, there's not really anything going on. And it was like the middle of the morning, so nowhere was open. So we stopped for a little bit. We waited until Builder's Warehouse opened, and then we picked up the fuses that we needed. The plan now is not to run Mass Effect in full screen, but rather to run it in window mode, so that when I switch over to XSplit or anything else to do any other thing that I need to do on that computer, it's not going to change the current too much so that it trips the breaker on the fuse box. that's the plan. It definitely was not the power draw that was causing the issue, but we'll get this worked out. The live stream is now going, at least the local recording portion is now recording on XSplit. It's kind of hard to see just because of the glare, because we're actually on the road, and this is actually a car computer with 8 cores and 16 threads. It is amazing, and I am so hyped. I'm gonna switch over to Mass Effect. Everything's in windowed borderless now, so that works seamlessly. Switching back to XSplit, perfectly fine. So, got the tripping issue over with. It's all good to go. Now I'm gonna play some games. I'm gonna record it. We're gonna have a good time, aren't we, Byron? Aren't we? Aren't we, Byron? Look at the road. Don't look at me. Look at the road.
So tired right now.
You're so tired. Yeah, it's been a long morning. First session of streaming or locally recording Mass Effect Andromeda went perfectly, no issues when I switched it over to windowed full screen so that there were no power issues when I was swapping between windows. Everything went fine. Byron's just a little sleepy because he hasn't gotten any sleep in the past, what, like 24 hours? So he's a tired guy. I've gotten more sleep than he has, so we're gonna pull over as soon as it's safe. I'm gonna drive for about an hour to 2, and then after that, I'm gonna resume playing games because Byron doesn't want to play games, he wants to sleep. Byron, you got a good nap in, roughly like an hour and a half or so that you were able to rest. So that means I was driving for a little bit. Now I am back on the PC. Everything is gonna go amazing. I'm really excited. The Ryzen PC has been performing wonderfully. I checked the local recording. It's doing a great job. The 1700 is doing its job perfectly, keeping up with the entire gameplay. I have a gaming computer in this car. Can you believe this? I have a gaming computer in this car.
Intense.
It's really intense, and I just wish.
And like, it's running full, right? Like,
yeah.
you haven't disabled cores.
No, like everything's running full tilt. It's at stock. Everything's at stock. I haven't overclocked anything,
which makes sense.
But the other thing, like, yeah, you can get a Switch that can play mobile games, but like I can edit my 4K videos right now on the go.
I don't know that you'd want to.
If I had a lap, if I had something to like actually put my mouse on, which would be like revision 2 of the car PC. So this is going to be the last stream of the car ride. We're about 2 hours out from our destination in Cape Town. Byron needed to sleep a bit more than we anticipated. I needed to sleep a bit more than we anticipated just because we left at 1 a.m. when we were expecting to get a little bit of sleep and actually leave at 4 a.m. So plans changed. We got on the road earlier, but that resulted in us not playing as many games. But I'm going to do a final like hour-and-a-half session of Mass Effect Andromeda to just like, yeah, it wasn't the entire car ride, but a freaking 16-thread gaming PC in a car worked. It worked. I got enough playthrough to get through the first chapter or 2. I saw you, we were still on the way down to Cape Town to go to the Ryzen event. We finished that. Thank you, Wootware, for an amazing time there. It was definitely probably the best tech event I've gone to
in a while. That's for sure.
Yeah. So thank you guys. Awesome AMD launch. Now we're on the way back to Joburg. I'm gonna be doing my last little car stream just because I'm gonna have to drive after this. But yeah, it's been good. So the only issues that have happened are because of power state changes. So when with the first blown fuse, it was because I was in full screen mode, and then when I switched out of the game, it just dropped the power, and with the inverter, it didn't like that. But then I've also been having issues where it's not blowing fuses, but anytime it goes from sometimes when the game goes from a cutscene to gameplay, that power state change can cause the computer to restart. So it's definitely not a stable situation, and it's not a recommended situation, but it's actually, like, you can do it.
It's surprising that it works, but like a normal 24/7 operation kind of thing, well, not that anyone's going to drive for that long, would either need to use slightly less power, I think, or you'd need a more amperage inside of the car to be able to achieve this. But it's still crazy to think that, like, we're on the cusp of that kind of technology, considering it is working. It's just not perfect.
Yes, so it is working. It's not perfect, but it's not any fault of the computer system itself. It has to do with just the fact that DC is being converted to AC power on an inverter, and then there's only 20 amps on a 12 volt connection. So you're limited in terms of power, but that amount of power that you can get is an 8-core 16-thread CPU with an RX 480, a solid gaming and streaming machine in an entire car. And if we were in America, I would be live streaming right now. But I can't, just because of the fact that there's no internet right now on my phone.
Because we're pretty much literally in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you really want to show them.
They can see out of your, like, it's just desert. It's the Karoo. It's not desert, it's a semi-arid region. But I'm going to get on Mass Effect now. I'm going to jam my last little bit. We're going to get dinner just now. But I'll sign off again after I'm finished. But holy crap, this worked. I'm very amped that this amps were enough. Okay, I'm done. Okay, well, the stream is done. The cutscene from being on the spaceship to go down to the planet blew the fuse. Just, again, power state change. It's the inverter. Yeah, not gonna try it again because we're only a few minutes out from where we're gonna be stopping. So I call this video a success. Like, proof of concept done. Like, 8-core 16-thread streaming machine. You probably, if you have a 25 amp fuse for your 12 volt, I would say it'd probably be a lot smoother experience. But overall, I'm really stoked that this worked, and I at least got to experience the beginning of Mass Effect in the car. And it definitely made some of the harder parts of the trip more easy to stay awake. A monitor on my lap. I've got a mouse, a keyboard, and a controller in my lap as well. And then the PC is in the back seat with that beautiful stuff. You guys can't even see it. But that's my RX 480, the B350, the Ryzen 7 1700, 32 gigabytes of Trident Z RGB RAM.
SFX power supply.
And an SFX power supply from Silverstone, and on the open bench table test bench. So I'm signing off. This is the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like that video if you want to support more crazy antics like this, so we can afford bigger cars with bigger fuses. That would be amazing. Subscribe if you're new around here and you like the videos that I do. I'm going to put a link in the video description to everything that I used in this video if you want to check it out. Comment with what game you would want to play on a car trip. Not exclusive to the Nintendo Switch. What PC game would you jam if you had a PC car set up with a decent gaming PC? Byron, what would you want to play?
In a car?
Yeah.
Probably a racing game. I think that would be quite a cool, like, carception kind of thing.
All right, you heard it here first. No one else is allowed to say car.
Yeah.
Nobody else is allowed to say racing games.
The new Dirt game when it comes out.
The new Dirt game, okay. All right, cheers, guys. Bye. Oh my gosh, okay, I thought I was signing off the video there, but I wasn't, because you know what? I found a revelation out. The system didn't crash because of a power state change. Somebody knocked the power cord with their leg, and when I was going to unplug it, I actually plugged it back in, and the fuse isn't blown. Byron, you unplugged the computer.
If I did it, it wasn't intentional, and considering there's like 50 million cables next to my leg, what do you expect?
I don't care. This is a victory. That means that the PC didn't crash. Byron, with his negligent legs, attacked the PC. He was tired of me getting to enjoy all of the games and not him. Okay, now I'm signing off. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
So, does that mean I'm like a pilot?
You're a pilot?
Well, like
Or a pirate?
What would you call like the person who steers like a spaceship?
No, because you're not the, so...
Well, I'm moving
know.
the vessel that moves the game.
That's true.
So it's like, does that make me like omnipotent, like this all, you know, like
Okay,
this being in charge of the Andromeda?
No, I've got the perfect name for you.
What?
Star Captain.
Star-Lord.
Star-Lord Byron. Job's done.
Okay.